skies tonight and cold. Temperatures falling to 37 in the city at midnight when the calendars change. Overnight low will be 32 in the city and down to the mid-20s in many suburbs. Tomorrow, New Year's Day, early sun giving way to clouds, rain arriving toward evening, and that'll likely be mixed in with some sleet at the onset. Sleet and freezing rain developing late in the day well west and north of the city. A high in the city, 41 degrees, and an overnight low 41 degrees, low to mid-30s will be the high inland tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, periods of rain continuing, and it'll be freezing on some surfaces well north and west of the city. An overnight low, 39, 32 inland, and then temperatures begin to rise. Right now, skies are mostly cloudy. It's 44 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm Larry Cantor. Wiz News Time at the Tone, 2:30.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Richard. March 14th, 2020 was the day we lost the first New Yorker to COVID-19, and Mayor de Blasio says,
next March 14th, 2021 will be a day of remembrance in New York City. We need to recognize 25,000 of our fellow New Yorkers gone. That's something we have to always mark going forward.
Oh, we're definitely not in the clear yet. Another 3,259 people tested positive yesterday. Another 199 were hospitalized. The positivity rate on a 7-day average way too high, 8.87%. Governor Cuomo today tweeted 2020 ends today. Thank you to each and every New Yorker who did their part. Hashtag New York Tough. President-elect Joe Biden will honor COVID victims on the eve of his inauguration. Correspondent Mike Gracia tells us this will be a lighting ceremony at the Lincoln Memorial.
In a statement, the Presidential Inaugural Committee says the event will be the first ever lighting around the reflecting pool to memorialize American lives lost. The Inaugural Committee is also inviting communities around the country to join in lighting up buildings and ringing church bells at 5:30 p.m. in a national moment of unity and remembrance. Biden and Kamala Harris plan to take their oaths of office outside the U.S. Capitol on January 20th while complying with COVID-19 protocols. Mike Gracia, Washington.
The latest on that new strain of the virus coming up. Wiz News Time at 2:31. First traffic and transit. Here's Gloria Chapa.
Oh boy, it's like a law of averages. You take one away, you gotta add another one. This report's sponsored by the Exergen Twice Daily Thermometer. So good news on the Bruckner eastbound before Hunts Point Avenue. That accident that's been there for a few hours, it has been cleared. The delays are slowly easing up. The bad news is now westbound, almost the same area. Right before the Sheridan, looks like an accident there with those delays building up. Oh well, can't win. In Brooklyn, inbound BQE is slow from the Prospect Atlantic Avenue, and then looks like a possible accident before the Battery Tunnel. Outbound is slow from the LIE to the Brooklyn Bridge. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. LIE and the northern state and the southern state are moving very nicely end to end, so no problems there. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The George Washington Bridge, 5 to 10 in both directions. That's also going to be on both levels. Now, if you're taking the Lincoln Tunnel, it's 5 to 10 in both directions. The Holland is 5 to 10 in, 10 to 15 on the outbound side, with a stall on Marin Boulevard on the outbound side in the left lane. And now this message, don't take chances with COVID-19 and your family's health. Check your temperature before dinner and in the morning and get an accurate reading in seconds with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used and recommended by physicians and nurses. Stay safe with Exergen. I'm Gloria Chapa. Our next report at 2:41 on 1010 Winds.
Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather Exergen 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Well, we have just a touch of some light rain in the area here over the next couple of hours. Skies will be clearing out actually later on tonight. 37 in the city at midnight and right around the freezing mark for an overnight low. Mid-20s in many of the suburbs. New Year's Day. We'll see a little bit of the sun early, but it'll quickly cloud up as the next storm bears down on us. And this will be pushing mainly rain across the area, which will probably start between 4 and 7 o'clock in the evening and continue through the night. Now, back across northwestern New Jersey up in Orange County, it could be mixed with a bit of sleet for a brief time with the temperature near freezing. So untreated surfaces in that area could see a little icing. But in the city, a high of 41 and then dropping down only 39 tomorrow night with the rain. Saturday, any rain ends early in the morning. The rest of the day, breezy and quite mild. Clouds will break in the afternoon, a high of 56. Off and on rain Sunday with a high of 44. We're at 44 in Central Park, cloudy, and northwest wind at 14. Repeating the current temperature, 44, going down to 32 in Midtown. I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers on New York's weather station 1010 Winds.
Walk MS brings communities together to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. Together we are stronger. Register today at walkms.org.
Winds News Time at 2:34. Cases of the COVID-19 variant first discovered in the UK are now confirmed in both Colorado and California. Alex Stone with the latest.
In San Diego County, a 30-year-old man has the variant. He did not travel. Same in Colorado. A man who did not travel has it, and another likely has it. San Diego County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says because they didn't travel to the UK, it shows the variant is spreading in the U.S.
Because there is no travel history, we believe this is not an isolated case in San Diego County, and there are probably other strains, other cases of the same strain in San Diego County.
Officials in Massachusetts and Delaware say they're analyzing suspicious virus samples, which could be the COVID variant. According to a British study, this strain is believed to be 70% more transmissible and is more prevalent in people under the age of 20. A vaccine mishap in Germany sickened 8 workers at a nursing home. This was because they received too much of the Pfizer vaccine, an overdose basically, and developed flu-like symptoms. 4 ended up in the hospital for observation. Officials blamed human error. Heads up, pet people, there is a pet food recall to tell you about. Correspondent Vicki Barker tells us this is after more than 24 dogs died.
The FDA says very high levels of the deadly poison aflatoxin were found in 6 lots of sport mix dog and cat food made by Midwestern Pet Foods. At least 28 dogs have died after eating the product. At least 8 others have been sickened.
The recalled food is Sports Mix Energy Plus and Sports Mix Premium High Energy Dog Food. That's both the 44 and 50 pound bags, as well as Sports Mix Original Cat Food, 15 and 31 pound bags. These are all with expiration dates of March 2022. The FDA notes that when you throw the food away, do not put it where wildlife can get at it. 44 degrees now, partly sunny. The humidity is 67%. The wind northwest is 10 miles an hour. 44 going up to 46. And then tonight, clear skies but cold. 37 at midnight and 32 overnight. Mid-20s in many suburbs. Winds News Time at 2:36. Another celebrity has the virus and why Tom Hanks worries that he might be scary to kids. 1010 Winds Entertainment next.
You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck. So you ordered the essentials. A power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. Then you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, New York City. Everybody knows there are things in life that make total sense, like switching to Geico. They're the largest auto insurer in the state, and they've been saving people money for over 75 years.
Other things make no sense, like stickers some manufacturers put on their non-stick pans. It's like the world's worst product demo.
However, it makes total sense to bundle your home and car insurance with Geico. You could save a lot, and they can insure your motorcycle, boat, and RV.
Clapping, on the other hand, makes no sense. Who decided a great way to show approval was to hit ourselves? Repeatedly.
On the other hand, it still makes sense to switch to Geico. They have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver. And emergency roadside service could help you get out of a pinch.
Conversely, arranging, then dismantling decorative pillows on a bed makes no sense whatsoever. Making the bed provides enough chore drudgery on its own.
So, New York City, it makes sense to switch to Geico. Online, over the phone, or with your local agent.
Winds News Time 2:38. In 1010 Winds Entertainment, Dr. Drew Pinsky has the virus. He made the announcement on Instagram.
COVID's no fun. I don't recommend it. But I'm sort of through the viral phase, which is when the virus is reproducing, and took a lot of good medication to attack that early.
Back in April, he apologized when he compared the virus to the regular flu. A new look for Tom Hanks, and he's not too happy about it. He appeared virtually on the Graham Norton Show this week to talk about his latest acting role.
I am working on Baz Luhrmann's movie about Elvis Presley. Austin Butler is playing Elvis Presley.
Hanks is Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, and when he revealed his look for the role, which is basically a bald head, the audience gasped. Hanks joked that he just scares the children watching. Elvis is scheduled for release on November 5th of next year. Winds News Time at 2:39.
What's up, everybody? This is Rich Kleiman, co-founder of 35 Ventures, alongside my business partner, Kevin Durant. This week on the Boardroom's Out of Office podcast, we catch up with entrepreneur, media guru, and so much more, Gary V.
Well, I don't think entrepreneurs are better than anybody. I love being an entrepreneur. It's my game. But, please don't think you have to be. It's not as cool as you think. You know what's cool? Being self-aware. Knowing who you are and knowing what you like. You want to be a cop? Mazel tov. You want to be a teacher? Excellent. Stay-at-home dad? Even better, because that means you have the real ability in today's culture to deal with that overflow of comments. Entrepreneur, epic, but if not, cool. Number 3, mid-level executive who loves to play softball and have that balance. Like, know yourself. That's what you have to be. That's cool.
You can listen for free to this episode and more on the Boardroom's Out of Office podcast on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your shows.
Now more than ever, tell your iPhone or home device to play 1010 Wins and let's stay connected.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 44 degrees. It is 2:40. I'm Susan Richard, and here's what's happening. Mayor de Blasio announces a plan to vaccinate 1 million New Yorkers against COVID-19 in the first month of the new year. Folks are getting in their selfies as Times Square closes tonight to the general public. We'll get a live report. Pope Francis skips New Year's activities at the Vatican. We'll tell you why. And hotel surveillance video is now giving us another look at the cell phone incident at the Arlo. 1010 Wins AccuWeather clearing skies tonight. 37 degrees at midnight.
Bloomberg, following a month of quiet New Year's Eve trading day so far, Wall Street indexes are now waking up. The Dow rising 92, S&P up 10.
Wins News Time 2:41. Traffic and transit. Here's Gloria Chapa.
Looking at the Bronx, still looking at the Bronx. We've been looking at the Bronx for a while. So the eastbound Bruckner before Hunts Point Avenue crash has been cleared. You still have some slow traffic back to the RFK Bridge. Now westbound Bruckner at exit 51, that's Bronx River Avenue, there is an accident blocking at least one lane. And yep, those delays are building up. Northbound Hutch is slow from the Bronx line to the Cross County, and then it picks up again from exit 17 to 23 in Westchester. Heading over to what we see on Long Island's Big Three, no problems, LIE, Northern State and Southern State in New Jersey. There are pothole repairs on Route 109 southbound from north of Elizabeth Ave to north of Bayway Circle in Elizabeth. 2 right lanes are closed. Now here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The George is 5 to 10 in both directions, both levels. Lincoln is 5 to 10 in both directions. And the Holland is 5 to 10 in and 10 to 15 outbound because of a stalled car at Marin Boulevard in the left lane. I'm Gloria Chapa. Our next report at 2:51 on 1010 Wins.
As we gladly usher out 2020, Mayor de Blasio sets a goal for the start of 2021. He's announced a plan to vaccinate 1 million New Yorkers against COVID-19 in the first month.
The focus will first be on the 27 priority neighborhoods hardest hit by COVID. Mayor de Blasio says they're going to expand through community health networks, urgent cares, and test and train sites and beyond to distribute the vaccine.
We talk about a school gymnasium, Department of Education is to be a part of this. Think about public housing, NYCHA, our community centers. We're going to be out there in NYCHA developments over the months ahead. They're going to be a crucial piece of this as well.
While the city has only administered 88,000 doses so far, they have the capacity to do 150,000 a week. So why the slow rollout?
So the first weeks were about getting it right, making sure everything was safe and proper, but we knew we wanted to go a hell of a lot faster.
The plan is to ramp up to 300,000 doses a week, but it also depends on pharmaceutical companies and the feds to get the needed supply. Samantha Leapman, 1010 Wins News.
In the UK, they're planning to vaccinate as many people as possible with the first dose instead of waiting until there are enough 2-dose shots available. Well, Dr. Anthony Fauci tells NBC's Today Show it's an idea worth considering, but
One of the problems of doing that is if you don't then get the second dose in time, you're going to have a lag period. And we know from the clinical trial that the optimal time is to give it on one day, and then for Moderna 28 days later, and for Pfizer 21 days later.
The Trump administration now says the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine will likely not be approved here until April. Yesterday, it was approved for emergency use in the UK. As we close out the year of the pandemic, the crossroads of the world will be closed tonight to the general public, so don't go. Now, I'm such a typical New Yorker, despite being born and raised here in Queens, Rego Park. I have never actually been to Times Square on New Year's Eve. #bucket list. Well, our Holly Hare is there for us now, and she joins us live. Holly.
Susan, you definitely need to try it at least once. Right now, like you said, they're not going to be crowds here, but there are going to be performances. And one of the things the pandemic has taken away from so many people is a chance to see performances and a chance for performers to perform live. Well, they've got some big names lined up here. J-Lo, Cyndi Lauper, Machine Gun Kelly, and Gloria Gaynor. I'm going to play a little clip for you. Name this tune. They were warming up for Gloria Gaynor's act earlier. So if you want to play along, I'm going to play this little 7 or 8 second clip for you. Okay, Susan?
Okay, go. Yeah, well, that's like the mantra for this year, I will survive.
Yes, indeed. And she has on her Twitter, she wrote 2020, go on now, walk out the door, which is obviously a line from the song. Anyone who's been to a karaoke bar knows that's sung really well too. And she's telling, her fans not to miss her performance here tonight. Again, people are not going to be crowding in here to see it in person, but you can see it online, on TV. And it's still going to be big, but it's not going to be the usual New Year's Eve. There are still plenty of people though right now walking through. You can walk north and south on Broadway. You can't really go through east-west on the streets, but lots of people are coming down here to take pictures and at least have a glimpse of Times Square on New Year's Eve. Reporting live, Holly Hare, 1010 Wins News.
Well, Holly, Times Square Alliance President Tim Tompkins tells us that they've got some cool stuff for the throngs who will be watching from a distance.
It's always been the case that while there may have been almost 1 million people in Times Square, there were 1 billion people watching it worldwide through the internet, and so you can watch it online. And this year, for the first time ever, there's going to be a NYE app that you can download where you can create your own avatar, literally choose your different camera angles of watching the performances that are happening in Times Square. So you can actually have a richer online experience and virtual experience than you've ever had before.
As they watch from home, Joe and Jill Biden will be live with Ryan Seacrest.
I will speak to our president-elect and our future First Lady moments before the new year, and I look forward to that. I think that there'll be a conversation with them about what's to come in the new year, the hope, unity, and I believe that they'll have a chance to thank those essential workers that are right there in Times Square, because we'll put them on the big screen when we talk to them.
And that will be on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. That airs on ABC. 44 degrees. We've got some sunshine now. We are headed down to 37 at midnight, 32 overnight in the city. Winds news time at 2:46. Word that a local GOP holiday party might have been a super spreader. And there's new video in the Arlo cell phone case. Those stories on the way.
New Yorkers, this holiday season, let's reduce the spread of COVID-19. This is not the year to travel to gather with family and friends. Traveling puts you, your family, and our communities at risk, as returning travelers can be a source of transmission. Celebrate with your own household members and virtually with friends and family. Let's take these precautions now so we can all be together in the future. For more information, visit nyc.gov/health/coronavirus. How cute! Is that a little dog?
No, it's a money dot.
Oh, one of those new hybrid breeds.
No, it's a new game from the New York Lottery. Money dots pop up every 4 minutes, and if you match with one, you can win up to $50.
Is it hypoallergenic? Win money on the dot with Money Dots from the New York Lottery. Look for it where quick draws played. Must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. You must be 21 years or older to purchase a store ticket where alcoholic beverages are served. Please play responsibly.
CatslawyersNYC.com. They fight speeding and moving violations. They represent clients in auto accident cases and matters related to automobiles. They fight speeding tickets and moving violations. CatslawyersNYC.com. Call them at 212-747-0606. 212-747-0606. CatslawyersNYC.com fights DWIs and suspension revocation cases. Tickets are bought in all New York City courts and counties statewide. They have offices in Manhattan. CatslawyersNYC.com. Call them at 212-747-0606. 212-747-0606. They'll represent you in court so you don't have to appear and miss work. All they need is your driver's license and credit or debit card. That's it. Flat rate legal fees that cost less than you think. So the next time a cop knocks on your window, tell him who your lawyer is. Seth Katz and CatslawyersNYC.com. 212-747-0606. 212-747-0606. All 24 hours a day.
Wins News Time 2:49. At least one person is hospitalized with COVID after attending a Republican holiday party that took place indoors at Il Bacio in Little Neck on December 9th. It was hosted by the Whitestone Republican Club. The Eagle spoke to James Trent, the chair of the Queens Village Republican Club, who is infected and is at North Shore University Hospital in Manhasset. For his part, he says he's not sure how he got this because he wasn't on the conga line. The Eagle says another attendee and his wife also tested positive but have yet to respond to calls seeking comment. New video has surfaced in the case of the white woman who falsely accused a black teen of stealing her cell phone at Manhattan's Arlo Hotel. This is hotel surveillance video. It was tweeted by NYPD Chief of Detectives Rodney Harrison. It appears to show the woman tackling Keon Harold Jr. to the ground and then fleeing the location before cops arrived. Turns out she had actually left her phone in an Uber. That Uber driver later returned it to her. Mayor de Blasio has called the incident racist, plain and simple. He reiterated that today.
This has to end. I have not seen the new video, but I'll tell you the bottom line on this. We've seen a series of things like this around the country. It's almost become tragically comical how much you can rely on the fact that someone will unjustly accuse a young man of color in America.
Well, the NYPD and Manhattan DA deciding now whether to charge the woman with assault. An historic moment during last night's game between the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. Correspondent Steve Futterman tells us a woman took over as head coach during a regular season game.
This is how history began last night in San Antonio. He got kicked out. See you later. San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich was kicked out. I think he was that upset. And when that took place, his replacement, there's Becky Hammond, will be the head coach from here out. It was an NBA first.
Honestly, I was just trying to win the game. I try not to think about the huge picture and the huge aspect of it.
The Spurs did not win, but it was a breakthrough moment.
When she was hired by the Spurs in 2014, Hammond became the first full-time female assistant coach in NBA history. She previously served as head coach during the off-season Summer League. Wins News Time 2:51. Let's get traffic and transit. Here's Gloria Chapa.
Looking in the Bronx, westbound Buckner Expressway at exit 51, Bronx River Avenue. There is an accident blocking a lane and definitely causing delays. Westbound Cross Bronx is slow. White Plains Road to the George, eastbound from the George Washington Bridge to 3rd Avenue. Also seeing delays in both directions on the Major Deegan going into the stadium area. So keep aware of something going on there. And remember, if you see something, you can always give us a call, 844-JAN-1010, and let us know. Meanwhile, here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. It's looking good. LIE, North State, and Southern State looks like people are staying home because no one's on the road. Outbound BQE is slow from the Meeker-Morgan area to the Brooklyn Bridge. Inbound is slow from the Prospect Atlantic Avenue. Looks like a possible accident before the Battery Tunnel. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The George is 5 to 10 in both directions. Lincoln is 5 to 10 in both directions. And the Holland Tunnel, that outbound stalled car has been cleared from the Jersey City side, but you're still seeing 10 to 15 outbound, 5 to 10 on the inbound side. The Brooklyn Battery Tunnel is heavy into Brooklyn. Looks like a possible accident, and the Brooklyn Bridge is heavy into Brooklyn. I'm Gloria Chapa, and next report at 3:01 on 1010 Winds.
Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather Exergen 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Bowers.
So we're looking at just a couple of light showers here over the next hour or two. This is a front slipping through, and then skies will be clearing a little bit later on here tonight. 37 in the city at midnight, 32 for an overnight low. New Year's Day will cloud back up again. This will be courtesy of the storm coming at us out of Texas, and that'll be pushing the rain in here, say between 4 and 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Even a little bit of sleet could be mixed in at the onset. This will be across northwestern New Jersey up into Orange County. High in the city, though, 41 degrees. And then just off and on rain through tomorrow night, with the temperature really not dropping much more than a couple of degrees. And the rain ends early Saturday morning. The rest of the day will be quite mild. Clouds will break, a high of 56. Next system comes along with some off and on rain Sunday, and a little chillier with a high of 44. We're at 44 in Central Park, cloudy. Going down to 32 in Midtown. I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Winds News Time 2:53. Pope Francis is skipping the New Year's celebrations at the Vatican, but it's not because of the virus. It's due to sciatic pain. He first revealed he had sciatica while on a visit to Brazil in 2013. At the time, he said it was very painful and he would not wish that on anyone. In 2017, the pontiff confirmed he'd been undergoing regular treatment, including injections to reduce his leg pain. Our
hours before the ball drops, authorities in Gilbert, Arizona nixed party plans for one guy who had sold 200 tickets to his event. Correspondent Brianna Whitney with the story.
Because they were selling tickets, that made this a public event. According to one of the governor's executive orders, public events have to have special permits issued by the county to be held. Maricopa County told me this homeowner did not have a special permit to have this party, so they contacted him immediately. The county then sent us this statement saying after talking to the homeowner, he said he would change his event to a private event and refund admission fees already paid.
The number of new coronavirus cases in Arizona over the past week was second only to California. While most of it was the pits, 2020 was a very big year for the U.S. space program, and 2021 could be even bigger.
SpaceX may exceed the more than 2 dozen launches it had this year.
Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon 2.
They included 2 human space flights, and there are plans for 2 more to the space station next year. Boeing hopes to do the same with its Starliner next summer. NASA's Perseverance rover is due to land on Mars in February. After years of delays, the agency hopes to launch its James Webb Space Telescope from French Guiana next October. After that, an unpiloted test of the Artemis moon rocket and its Orion spacecraft.
Correspondent Peter King, WINS News Time 2:55.
During these times of heightened uncertainty, you can count on Palisade Jewelers in Englewood, New Jersey to pay the highest value for your Rolex watch, diamonds, estate jewelry, and gold. Gold is trading at or near all-time highs every day, and the folks at Palisade consistently offer the best prices in a secure, comfortable environment. With over 70 years' experience, Palisade has an outstanding reputation for courteous, confidential service. Call 201-871-0400 to speak to an owner. Palisade Jewelers wants to buy your fine watch, Rolex, Patek Philippe, Cartier, estate jewelry, signed and unsigned, and any size diamond. Now is the time to get the highest value for your valuables. If you have a need for quick cash and don't want to sell, Palisade will make you a loan. Palisade Jewelers is a state-licensed and regulated pawnbroker. Learn the details at PalisadeJewelers.com. Call 201-871-0400 or visit Palisade Jewelers, just 4 minutes from the George Washington Bridge, where you get the right price to buy, sell, trade, and pawn.
Now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 WINS with Andrew O'Day.
Heading toward the final trading hour of the year, Wall Street is awakening from what much of this day had been a pretty sleepy trading session. We're now seeing 2 main indexes holding in record territory. The Dow up 89 points, S&P 500 up 10. The Nasdaq is down, but cutting its session losses to now 8 points. Not joining in the gains is Microsoft. Shares slipping as the company reveals the suspected Russian hackers behind the stunning breach of numerous U.S. government agencies also accessed the company's internal source code. Microsoft is not revealing exactly what code the hackers saw, but does say no customer data or services were compromised. Latest labor market figures highlight the recovery is still coming in fits and starts, but ended the year on a somewhat brighter note. Filings for initial jobless benefits fell by 19,000 to 787,000 last week, beating the median estimate in the Bloomberg survey of economists, marking the second straight weekly decline. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 WINS.
Now a commercial message. This is Carter Conlon. When God visits us in a powerful way, it's because he's trying to draw us out and to encourage us to believe for something that only he can do. Often, he does it in a time when we recognize our own weakness. A time when we recognize that if anything's going to happen in this generation, it's not going to be by my might, not by my power, but only by the Spirit of God. God is able to move in my weakness when we come before him with an honest heart and with an honest prayer. I do thank God with all my heart that we have been receiving so many praise reports of what God is doing all over the world in our worldwide prayer meeting. You can join us here in New York or live on the internet at itstimetopray.org every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't wait till you're strong. Come now in your weakness. Let's you and I lift our voices to God. It's time to pray.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. To keep surfaces sanitized all day, use Microban 24 sanitizing spray. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. One dry Microban 24 sanitizing spray is effective for 24 hours on bacteria when used as directed.
This Christmas, experience Wonder Woman 1984 in theaters and on HBO Max the exact same day, streaming at no extra cost to HBO Max subscribers. Plus, with HBO Max, stream the greatest collection of series, movies, and exclusive Max originals all in one place. The Undoing, The Flight Attendant, and more. Go to HBOMax.com or download the app to sign up and start streaming today. Wonder Woman 1984 is rated PG-13 and is available to stream on HBO Max for 31 days from theatrical premiere. WINS, WINS HD, WNAW HD3 New York.
A radio.com station.
Winds news time 2:59, 45 degrees now in Newark. It is 39 in Brewster. Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Clearing skies for New Year's Eve and turning colder, 37 in the city at midnight, then overnight 32 in town, mid-20s in many suburbs. For New Year's Day, early sun will give way to clouds, and then we're looking at rain later in the day, and the evening could actually mix with some sleet at the onset. 41 in the city, low to mid-30s, well inland. Saturday's great, partly sunny, and 56. It is 44 and partly sunny in Central Park. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Katie Murnane's our studio producer. Zach Newman is the service aide. Tanya Mercado is at the editor's desk. I'm Susan Richard.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It's 44 degrees at 3 o'clock. I'm Larry Cantor, and here's what's happening. 1 billion COVID shots in 1 month. That's Mayor de Blasio's pledge. March 14th will be an annual Day of Remembrance in the 5 boroughs for New Yorkers who have died from coronavirus. Senate Majority Leader McConnell blocks the larger COVID relief check bill again. Small breweries are scrambling to get their hands on some cans. 1010 Winds AccuWeather, clearing skies tonight, a low 32.
This is Andrew O'Day of Bloomberg. Final trading hour of a wild year, and 2 of Wall Street's main indexes are holding at records. Dow up 88, S&P 500 up 11.
Winds News Time 3:01. From the 1010 Winds Traffic Center, here's Gloria Chapa.
It looks like the Bruckner just can't get a break today. Heading over to the eastbound Bruckner Expressway after Bronx River Avenue. Looks like an accident there. There was an earlier westbound one there, and that one's been cleared, but now I'm seeing eastbound delays. So hopefully it's just some leftover construction or repairs, because at this point it's been all day something right there. Westbound Cross Bronx is heavy from White Plains Road all the way to the George. Eastbound is slow from the George into 3rd Avenue. Looks like there's a possible accident in that area. Northbound Deegan, well, that doesn't look good. It's actually both directions are heavy between the stadium all the way up to 231st Street up in the Bronx. So give yourself a little extra time. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Not so bad at the George. 5 to 10 in both directions on both levels, although the inbound side is starting to pick up a little bit. 5 to 10 in both directions at the Lincoln Tunnel, and the Holland is 5 to 10 in both directions as well. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. It's looking good. Both directions, LIE, North State, Southern State traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones, and breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Gloria Chapa on 1010 Winds.
The COVID vaccination process has gotten off to a slow start across the country, but Mayor de Blasio pledges that New York is going to be a leader in getting things on track.
Mayor de Blasio's only New Year's resolution:
we're going to look back and say we did amazing things in New York City in 2021. We turned the tide. We started our recovery. We reached people and protected people in ways never seen before. That's my resolution.
He says that starts with giving out 1 million vaccine doses in January. So far, only 88,000 have been done. But Health Commissioner Dr. Dave Chauncey says they can do it so long as they have the cooperation from the feds and pharma.
Our goal is to double the access points for vaccination within a month, from hospitals to community health centers to urgent care clinics, totaling at least 250 sites across the 5 boroughs.
The mayor says they will first focus on those 27 priority zip codes hardest hit. The city currently has the capacity to give out 150,000 doses per week. The goal to double that by the end of the month. Samantha Leapman, 1010 Winds News.
The first coronavirus death in New York City was last March 14th. And on that sad anniversary, Mayor de Blasio says there will be a day of remembrance for all the New Yorkers who have died. The total is now about 25,000, and the mayor says that should be an annual event. Here are the latest numbers in the city. 199 more people have entered the hospital, and there are more than 3,200 new diagnoses. The test positivity rate has jumped to 8.87%. In New Jersey, they've counted another 5,100 cases since yesterday and 90 more deaths. That pushes the state's death toll to more than 17,000. Another case of the more easily spread variant of coronavirus, first noted in the UK, has turned up in the U.S. The governor of California made the announcement.
The new strain of COVID-19 has been found in a second state.
Identified in Colorado yesterday has been identified here in the state of California.
Dr. Anthony Fauci told California Governor Gavin Newsom it wasn't surprising, given the variant's more contagious nature.
There's no indication at all that it increases the virulence, and by virulence I mean the ability to make you sick or kill you.
Correspondent Deborah Alfarone with that report. Another 3,740 Americans succumbed to COVID yesterday. That was the highest daily count yet. The Centers for Disease Control figures more than 80,000 could die in the next 3 weeks. And that would put the U.S. death toll well over 400,000. Checking AccuWeather. Clearing skies tonight and turning colder. Temperature around 37 at midnight, 32 for the low overnight, and mid-20s in many suburbs. Then tomorrow, New Year's Day. Early sun giving way to clouds. Rain arriving toward evening, could be mixed with some sleet. And high tomorrow, 41 in the city, low to mid-30s well inland. Tomorrow night, periods of rain continues to freeze on some surfaces well north and west of the city, and a low 39 degrees in town, 32 inland. It is 44 degrees now. Skies are partly sunny. Humidity 67%. Repeating the current temperature, 44, heading down to 32. Winds news time, 3:06. One school in Essex County was the scene of the largest COVID outbreak yet in a school in New Jersey. State data show 83 students and staff members were infected. Exactly where this happened was not revealed for privacy reasons. It's unclear if this was a public school or a private one. Since the school year began, there have been 108 school outbreaks in New Jersey, involving nearly 550 students and personnel. Most of the outbreaks have involved no more than 10 people. Things come in large sizes at Costco, and so does coronavirus, apparently. Health officials in Yakima, Washington say 145 employees of one Costco were apparently infected at the same time. They're all quarantining now, but the store remains open. It's implementing recommendations from health officials designed to stop or slow the spread. With people around the world clamoring for COVID shots, someone deliberately ruined a number of vials of the vaccine.
Last weekend, the Aurora Medical Center in Grafton, Wisconsin, reported that 500 doses of coronavirus vaccine had to be discarded after they were left unrefrigerated overnight. Now the health system says the employee involved has admitted spoiling the doses on purpose. No motive given. The worker's been fired and the authorities notified.
That's correspondent Vicki Barker. For a third day in a row, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has blocked consideration of a bill to increase COVID relief checks from $600 to $2,000. McConnell doesn't want to borrow billions more dollars for a benefit he says will go to some people who don't need it.
Borrowing from our grandkids to do socialism for rich people is a terrible way to get help to families who actually need it.
Rich people? The full checks only go to people earning $75,000 a year or less, and no one who makes over $99,000 gets a single penny. Vermont Independent Senator Bernie Sanders said McConnell's reasoning is phony.
Senator McConnell had no problem giving a $104 million tax refund to Amazon over the past 3 years, despite the fact that that company made $30 billion in profit. So the argument that this bill in any significant way benefits the rich is just not accurate.
McConnell has said he'll only allow consideration of the $2,000 payment if the bill also contains a repeal of Section 230, a legal shield used by social media companies to restrict certain material. and the commission to look into voter fraud in the 2020 election. The current session of Congress ends on Sunday. Senator Lindsey Graham says McConnell should hold a vote on the standalone check bill after that, as well as standalone votes on Section 230 and the Election Commission. Senate Minority Leader Schumer says that's okay, but why wait? WINS News Time 3:09.
Is your credit card debt piling up? Specific Debt can help. Specific Debt is the nation's friendliest debt settlement company. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews on sites like Trustpilot and Best Company, they can settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. In fact, they've settled over $300 million, helping people just like you. Get a monthly program payment you can afford and zero upfront fees. Get free information now. 800-281-9981. 800-281-9981.
Last Tuesday, someone broke into my car and robbed me blind. Or at least that's what would have happened if I didn't have Vivint. Instead, my Vivint Outdoor Camera Pro detected him and scared him away with a light and a whistle. Want peace of mind? Stop crime before it happens with a Vivint system. Vivint, all is well. Call 833-420-4070 to get started today. That's 833-420-4070.
Today, every business is digital. From website development to third-party integration, AmericanEagle.com delivers innovative web design, development, and digital solutions, driving business growth for their clients. AmericanEagle.com's work for Dairy Queen, one of the world's most iconic brands, consisted of building a website and digital portal for thousands of global franchises and stores. One of their goals was to build an enterprise portal to serve as a valuable company-wide communication tool, providing access to product information, marketing programs, and operations workflow. This digital program is instrumental in streamlining Dairy Queen's global operations with a platform enhancing their stores' productivity. AmericanEagle.com, providing website design and development to enterprise portal solutions. When your business needs to think more digital, talk to AmericanEagle.com, building your digital mindset. Call AmericanEagle.com at 877-WEB-NOW1 or visit AmericanEagle.com.
WINS News Time 3:11. From the 1010 WINS Traffic Center, here's Gloria Chaka.
Well, I am looking at quite a lot of traffic in the Bronx in various areas. First of all, if you're heading southbound on the Major Deegan, looks like we've got a stalled car after the Cross Bronx. It's in the right lane, and I have seen those delays back to 230th Street northbound and slow from 149th Street to after the Cross Bronx. Westbound on the Cross Bronx, looks like we have a lot of traffic from White Plains Road to the George, eastbound from the George to 3rd Avenue. And southbound Bronx River Parkway after East 233rd Street, we have an accident reported. It's blocking at least one lane. Very busy in the Bronx right now. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The George is 5 to 10 in both directions on both levels. Now, if you're taking the Lincoln Tunnel, give yourself a 5 to 10 minute wait in both directions. The Holland is 5 to 10 inbound. You might be closer to 10 minutes on the outbound side at the Holland Tunnel. Meanwhile, here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. It's smooth sailing in both directions on the LAE, North State, and Southern State. This report is sponsored by your local Mazda dealer. I'm Gloria Chaka. Our next report at 3:21 on 1010 WINS.
This holiday season, arrive in good spirits in a rewarding Mazda sedan or SUV. Find yours during Mazda's Season of Inspiration sales event. Going on now.
Now the Exogen AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Just a couple of showers here over the next hour or two as the front is slipping through, and then skies will be clearing here tonight. Low of 37 in the city at, or I should say a temperature of 37 in the city at midnight. Overnight low about 32 in Midtown, mid-20s, and then in the suburbs. We'll quickly cloud up again tomorrow as the storm moves northeastward from Texas toward the Great Lakes. That'll be pushing rain in here very late in the afternoon or early evening. Could even be mixed with some ice pellets, especially well north and west of the city, northwestern New Jersey up into Orange County. High in the city about 41, and we'll still stay well above freezing tomorrow night. So this is mainly a rain event. Saturday, that rain ends early. The rest of the day, it's going to be quite mild. Clouds and breaks of afternoon sun at a high of 56. Only to see another system come along. Some off and on rain on Sunday, high 44. We're at 44 in Central Park, cloudy. Going down to 32 in Midtown. I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers on New York's weather station, 1010 WINS.
WINS News Time 3:13.
Investors like appreciation with high cash flow. The Federal Reserve is boosting real estate markets now with super low long-term interest rates. And where we build, it's booming. Founded in 2006 with a 15-year track record, NRIA gives you steady cash flow backed by $1.2 billion of new construction development. NRIA is accepting investors for our Class A real estate fund. You'll receive reliable 10% return electronic payments, passive tax-deferred income with bonuses to 21% on prime residential buildings. You're inflation protected with large rental buildings and diversified in 18 prime real estate developments, avoiding stock market risk. Call us now and do the math on our prime developments. See for yourself. NRIA. Come do the math. It works. Just call 201-210-2727. That's 201-210-2727. An offer to buy or sell any security is only made by our private placement memorandum. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Returns are annualized. National is a real estate development firm. See us at nria.net.
Suffering with knee arthritis, pain, and don't want surgery? Here's really good news. Research published in the Journal of Knee Surgery found that 3 of every 4 knee arthritis sufferers, even advanced or bone-to-bone, were able to avoid surgery for 7 years or longer using specialized non-surgical treatments. Now these procedures are available right here in the metro area. The physicians at NYC Pain MD use precision arthritis targeting technology and customized programs that feature FDA-approved lubricating formulas, along with platelet treatments, stem cells, even nerve blocks for damaged, painful joints, easing pain and improving mobility, and often helping patients avoid complex, stressful surgery. There's no need for scary or expensive hospitals. Go home with nothing but a 1-inch Band-Aid and little to no downtime. Insurances and even Medicare may cover the treatment. Schedule a free evaluation by calling 800-600-KNEE. That's 800-600-5633. 800-600-KNEE. Wins News Time 3:15. If you called 311 sometime this year, you were one of many. Mayor de Blasio says the city's information line handled a record 23.5 million calls. There were so many questions that needed answering amid COVID. Where can I get tested? Where can I pick up some food? How can I get an iPad for my child for remote learning? The mayor says the people at the 311 call center are among the unsung heroes of the pandemic. Sunday marks 1 year since the Trump administration assassinated Iranian leader General Qasem Soleimani. And there's some worry that Iran might try to pull something and attack U.S. interests. The U.S. flew B-52 bombers to the Middle East yesterday in the latest show of force. But at the same time, Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller decided not to extend the deployment of the aircraft carrier Nimitz in the Persian Gulf. The conflicting messages could reflect divisions within the Pentagon, where a senior defense official tells CNN the current threat level from Iran is the most concerning it's been since the death of Soleimani. Others at the Pentagon say the threat is being exaggerated. Meantime, Iran is accusing President Trump of plotting to fabricate a pretext for war. Time's up for the Census Bureau to report the results of the 2020 count, but that report is not ready. Here's correspondent Jim Crisula.
The Census Bureau plans to announce it will miss a year-end deadline for providing numbers used to allocate congressional seats. The delay could impact President Donald Trump's efforts to exclude people in the country illegally from the count if the figures aren't in before President-elect Joe Biden takes office.
Becomes president, he could rescind President Trump's memorandum that directed the Bureau to exclude undocumented immigrants. Collecting census numbers was hampered this year by the pandemic, which caused hiring shortages and prompted the Bureau to suspend field operations in the spring. This will be the first time this deadline has been missed since it was first implemented more than 40 years ago. The Commerce Department oversees the Census Bureau. That's the purview of Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. Champagne is the traditional drink to toast the new year, but a beer is fine too, especially this year. Correspondent Vanya Backus says some small beer makers are struggling to get their brews on store shelves because of a lack of cans.
Mark Watson with the Brewers Association says aluminum can makers were facing high demand even before the pandemic, with many beverage companies switching from plastic to more environmentally friendly aluminum. That has places like Barrel House V in Massachusetts paying a premium.
We pay through the nose to secure what you're seeing here, but this is a
2-3 months supply for us.
Game suppliers will open new manufacturing sites, but experts say the shortages will continue till the end of 2021 and possibly longer.
In the U.S. alone, they say there's a shortage of about 10 billion cans. Wiz News Time, 3:19.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of it for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/wizards to get started today.
Merrill Edge PS Finance Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, members IPC. Other fees may apply. Investment products are not FDIC insured and not bank guaranteed and name value.
What's in store this week at Staples? Everything you need to start the year right. Whether you meet at the office or on a video chat, or whether your commute is now measured in feet rather than miles, Staples has everything you need, like home office furniture, the latest tech, and organizational supplies at amazing prices. And now at Staples, 2021 dated desk pads are just $3.99. Shop in store or pick up curbside. Get a fresh platinum year with big savings from Staples. M1221 while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
You never have to wait for traffic reports on 1010 Winds. We're the only radio station in New York City to bring you breaking traffic whenever it happens. So lock it in.
The news watch never stops. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It's 44 degrees at 3:20. I'm Larry Cantor, and here's what's happening. Mayor de Blasio pledges to get 1 million New Yorkers vaccinated in January. One team is arrested for a wild attack by bicycle riders on an SUV in the Flatiron District. Several pet food producers have been, pet food products, that is, have been recalled following the deaths of 28 dogs. Too much of a good thing in Germany. 8 people became ill after receiving an overdose of COVID vaccine. 1010 Winds, AccuWeather, clearing tonight, a low 32.
This is Andrew O'Day at Bloomberg. Fresh look at holiday shopping further underscores that a lot more of us didn't shop in a store this year. Stock index is mixed, Dow up 150.
Wiz News Time, 3:21. From the 1010 Winds Traffic Center, here's Gloria Chapa.
All right, starting out in the Bronx, as we have been all day. South on Deacon, after the crossbars, there's a stalled box truck on the right-hand side. Looking at it on the jam cam, not a comfortable place to get stuck. You have delays back to 230th Street. Northbound is slow from 149th Street to after the crossbars. Southbound Bronx River Parkway after 233rd Street, there's an accident blocking at least one lane. In Brooklyn, inbound BQE, it's going to be a little slow from the Prospect to Atlantic Avenue, and outbound is slow from Meeker Morgan to the Brooklyn Bridge. Now here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. I'm checking it out, and it looks like everyone on Long Island anyway is staying home because it is quiet, quiet, quiet. No problems on the LIE, the North State, or the Southern State. Now if you're driving on into Queens, right now I don't see a lot on the westbound side of the LIE, the Grand Central. Now the Southern State, as you can expect, going on to the Belt Parkway is a little slow going past JFK Airport, and northbound Van Wyck is slow JFK Airport into Hillside Avenue. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Fast 10 in both directions at the George, Lincoln, and Holland. I'm Gloria Chapa. Our next report at 3:31 on 1010 Winds.
Hear how the best minds in business really work with the Boardroom Out of Office podcast, hosted by Rich Klein, Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures business partner. Industry leaders talk about who they are, how they got here, and things they learned along the way you might not expect. Listen on radio.com and Apple Podcasts.
Mayor de Blasio makes a pledge to New York regarding COVID vaccination.
The most important New Year's resolution I could possibly offer you in the month of January 2021, we will vaccinate 1 million New Yorkers.
The mayor says community clinics will be involved along with pop-up vaccination sites, whatever it takes to reach the goal.
It's going to take tremendous urgency and focus, and we will need help from the federal government. We will need help from the state government. We will need help from the vaccine manufacturers. But we're making clear to the whole world, we can achieve 1 million vaccinations in January. We get that help, we'll make it happen.
If you want to see the ball drop at midnight, Mayor de Blasio says, park yourself in front of a TV or some other screen.
Don't believe any doubting Thomases that say because there's not going to be 1 million people or more in Florida, it's not going to be special. It's going to be actually, arguably, the most special, the most poignant, the most moving New Year's Eve. Everyone watch on television. Don't go down there.
Well, at this time, most years, the place would be packed by now. Not today. Our Holly Hare is in Times Square with a live report.
Well, like so many things this year, the pandemic really has changed the New Year's Eve celebration at Times Square. It is not packed, as you mentioned, like it normally would be. People have been able to walk up and down Broadway and take a picture of mostly empty Times Square. They've been able to take a picture of the 2021 on top of one Times Square in the spot where the ball will drop down later. But even now, the crowd has thinned out. They've actually blocked, it looks like they've blocked part of Broadway there, where people had been walking from north and south before. There are no more people coming through here on Broadway and West 46th at the moment. Earlier, they were letting people back and forth on West 44th, but that stopped a while ago. So it's clearing out even more than it had been before. And some of the acts, though, are getting ready to perform on the two stages. They're still getting the stages ready. J-Lo was performing a little while ago, just getting ready. Gloria Gaynor will be performing I Will Survive, which is really appropriate for 2020. And the people who were walking through earlier were very excited to be here, even for a moment. Tony Hendricks came all the way from Colorado.
It's weird because we're not able to really walk around. But yeah, this is my first time in New York City, so right now we're going to Grand Central Station.
He and others are excited to be here, even just for a brief moment of New Year's. Reporting live, Holly here at 1010 Wins in Times Square.
The teenager is facing charges for a terrifying attack on Tuesday in the Flatiron District. Police say the 15-year-old was one of a number of bicycle riders who surrounded an SUV, pounded on it, jumped on it, and threw their bikes against it. 36-year-old Max Torgovnik was at the wheel. He told CBS 2 he and his mother were driving up to Rockefeller Center to get a glimpse of the Christmas tree. Ultimately, the windshield was shattered.
He smashed the glass. At that point, my biggest fear was they're going to get in the car, they're going to pull me out, and I could be killed. And all I could hear was my mother crying and screaming. That's what haunts me the most.
At that point, the attackers took off, but the incident was captured on video, and police are still looking for the others involved. Torgovnik thinks the thing that instigated the attack was when one of the bike riders did a wheelie behind him and crashed into the back of their car. The young man who was arrested is charged with rioting and criminal mischief. Wednesday News Time, 3:26, and now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins. Here's Andrew O'Day.
Wall Street indexes kicked off the trading day with almost no movement, but the Dow and S&P are in record territory now. Dow gaining 143, S&P up 16, NASDAQ down, but just 5. We have fresh numbers on how retailers fared in the last days leading up to Christmas. Bloomberg's analysis of mobile phone location data from Safegraph finds an overall drop of 5.6% in foot traffic to stores last week versus last year. Malls, department stores, and apparel with a drop of 26%, and beauty with a decrease of 16%. And the biggest declines among individual chains, Nordstrom fared especially poorly with a 47% decline. But even if traffic fell off late for Nordstrom, it may have had a strong holiday season overall. That's the bet from an analyst at Wedbush, which says sales and profit margin have been trending rather strong over the full quarter, meaning people aren't just buying a lot at Nordstrom, they're buying the right things. Stock is up almost 2%. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day, the 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time, 3:27.
1010 Wins editor, Jack Conseco.
Working at Wins.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The news that we deliver each day impacts people, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. We are as much a part of their lifeline as they are to us.
Because anything can happen in an instant. 1010 Wins. We're here with attorney Mark Miner of the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnerman & Miner. Mark, what should somebody do if they're involved in a motor vehicle accident?
Well, whether you are a driver, passenger, or pedestrian, you should make sure the police are called and wait for them to respond. That way, you have independent proof of what happened and who was involved.
Now, what if a person is injured in a motor vehicle accident?
It is important to seek medical treatment as soon as possible. Also, New York's no-fault insurance law requires that an application for no-fault benefits be timely filed.
So should someone who's injured in a motor vehicle accident call a lawyer?
Absolutely. If you call us for a free consultation at 1-800-LAW-LINE, we will help determine what your rights are. We will handle all the insurance paperwork to make sure your medical bills are covered, and we will undertake an investigation to determine fault. The insurance companies have lawyers, and you should too. There is no fee unless there is a recovery.
If you're injured in an accident, call the law firm of Zalman, Schnerman & Meyer at 1-800-LAW-LINE for a free consultation. That number again is 1-800-LAW-LINE. Sales are rising quickly, but without another lead baker, Dale's Bakery is going to feel the heat.
Hey, you're making a loan today. I have to handle this order from the restaurant down the street. Cool.
He needs to hire.
Indeed, indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, get ready to get back into yoga. So you order the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath. Breathe.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more-rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
COVID-19 will prevent families from coming together during the holidays, and the situation is dire for paralyzed veterans who remain isolated. Let our veterans know they are not alone. Join PBA by giving holiday hope to our heroes at pba.org/holidayhope.
Cloudy skies, 43 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm Larry Cantor. Winds News Time, 3:30.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Richard. March 14, 2020 was the day we lost the first New Yorker to COVID-19, and Mayor de Blasio says
Next March 14th, 2021 will be a day of remembrance in New York City. We need to recognize 25,000 of our fellow New Yorkers gone. That's something we have to always mark going forward.
And we're definitely not in the clear yet. Another 3,259 people tested positive yesterday. Another 199 New Yorkers hospitalized. The positivity rate on a 7-day average is too high, 8.87%. President-elect Joe Biden will honor COVID victims on the eve of his inauguration. Correspondent Mike Rossier tells us this will be a lighting ceremony at the Lincoln Memorial.
In a statement, the Presidential Inaugural Committee says the event will be the first ever lighting around the reflecting pool to memorialize American lives lost. The Inaugural Committee is also inviting communities around the country to join, lighting up buildings and ringing church bells at 5:30 p.m. in a national moment of unity and remembrance. Biden and Kamala Harris plan to take their oaths of office outside the U.S. Capitol on January 20th, while complying with COVID-19 protocols. Mike Rossier, Washington.
The latest on that new strain of the virus coming up. Winds News Time 3:31. Let's get traffic and transit. Here's Gloria Chapa.
Starting out with northbound Harlem River Drive. It's got a cause. There's a stalled car on the ramp from the Harlem River Drive to the George Washington Bridge in the left lane. And that means we're also seeing some heavy traffic on the Harlem River Drive itself. Northbound FDR is slow from the 30s to the 60s as well. Northbound West Side is slow from 125th Street to the George. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The George Washington Bridge is 5 to 10 inbound, 5 to 10 outbound, although that's building up quickly because on the upper level under the apartments, there's a stalled tractor trailer blocking a lane, so that's going to slow down very fast. Lincoln Tunnel, 5 to 10 in both directions. Holland is 5 to 10 in both directions as well. Meanwhile, southbound Deegan, there's a stalled car after the cross Bronx, stalled truck actually. And you have delays back to the 230th Street. Northbound is slow from 149th Street to after the cross Bronx. Southbound Bronx River Parkway, after East 233rd Street, there's an accident blocking a lane. And in Westchester, northbound Hutch at exit 21. Seeing on Waze, there's an accident. Delays are not quite back to exit 16, but that's pretty far already. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three, LIE, Northern State, and Southern State. Quiet in both directions. And remember, you can call our tip line 844-JAM-1010. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the lines and breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Gloria Chapa on 1010 Win.
You don't feel right. You sleep plenty, but you're always tired. Your joints hurt. You push through it. It could be lupus. We're here to help. Learn more at BeFierceTakeControl.org. Brought to you by the Lupus Foundation of America and CDC. Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather Exergen 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Well, just a shower or two here over the next hour or so. We've got a front slipping through. The skies will then be clearing tonight. And we'll have temperatures around the freezing mark of Midtown and daybreak, mid-20s in many of the suburbs. And it's a chilly start to the new year tomorrow. We'll have some early sun giving way to clouds. That'll be a storm coming at us out of the southern plains. That'll be pushing rain in here starting between 4 and 7 o'clock in the evening. It could be mixed with some ice pellets, especially well northwest of the city. Even some icing across northwestern New Jersey, maybe up in Orange County for a brief time. A high temperature of 41 in the city and only dropping to 39 tomorrow night as the rain continues. Saturday, the rain ends early in the morning. The rest of the day, quite mild. Clouds will even break up, a high of 56, and then we'll see some rain at times again on Sunday with a high of 44. We're at 44 in Central Park, Friday. Way down to 32 at Midtown. Our meteorologist Dave Bowers on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Throughout the pandemic, Key Food and their family of supermarkets have maintained value and convenience as the top priority for their loyal customers. Now it's their turn to thank you. The Key to Savings program is back with amazing discounts this holiday season. Visit keyfood.com or stop by your favorite store today. Winds News Time 3:34. Cases of the COVID-19 variant first discovered in the UK are now confirmed in both Colorado and California. Alex Stone with the latest.
In San Diego County, a 30-year-old man has the variant. To the UK, it shows the variant is spreading in the U.S.
Because there is no travel history, we believe this is not an isolated case in San Diego County, and there are probably other strains, cases of the same strain in San Diego County.
Officials in Massachusetts and Delaware say they're analyzing suspicious virus samples, which could be the COVID variant. According to a British study, the strain is believed to be 70% more transmissible and is more prevalent in people under the age of 20. A vaccine mishap in Germany sickened 8 workers at a nursing home. This was because they received too much of the Pfizer vaccine and overdosed, basically, and developed flu-like symptoms. 4 ended up in the hospital for observation. Officials blamed human error. One EU nation has come up with an interesting way to distribute the vaccine. Deborah Rodriguez with that.
They're not as flash sports to deliver the first batch of Pfizer's coronavirus vaccines, which have to be stored at 94 degrees below zero. It spawned a wave of online memes. One Facebook post includes a picture of hot dogs stamped with the Pfizer logo. Another shows a butcher holding up a string of franks with the tagline, "The vaccines are here."
Bulgaria has one of the highest COVID rates in the European Union. If you feed your pet sport mix food, please listen carefully. That Missouri-based company has recalled a number of its products because they may contain fatal levels of aflatoxin. In fact, 28 dogs have died. At least 8 more got sick. The recalled products are Sport Mix Energy Plus and Sport Mix Premium High Energy Dog Food, both the 44 and 50 pound bags, and Sport Mix Original Cat Food, 15 and 31 pound bags. These are all with expiration dates of March 2022. The FDA notes that when you throw away that food, do not put it where wildlife can get to it. 43 degrees and cloudy. We're headed down to 37 in Central Park. Another celebrity with the virus, and why Tom Hanks is worried that he might be scary to kids. 1010 Winds Entertainment next.
You can put him back in jail. If you becomes a few too many. For a moment you think of going for a ride, but nah, you live there fine. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over. Your insurance goes up. You lose your license. Tell them your car. You kill someone. The result of driving drunk or tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers. They save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you been denied credit? Are you paying high interest rates because of a low credit score? Join the thousands of people who've relied on creditrepair.com to help rebuild their credit score.
I went to get my first car. I had to get a used car, high interest, and so I knew that things were done from there.
For over 15 years, we've helped thousands with their search for solutions to credit issues. We communicate with you, your creditors, and the credit bureaus with a unique approach designed to remove items like late payments, collections, charge-offs, liens, bankruptcy, and foreclosures that are unfair or inaccurate.
I've gone up 40 points already.
There are many services offering to tell you your credit score and even monitor it for you. But what good is just knowing your credit score when what you really need is to fix it? Credit Repair members see a significant improvement in their credit scores month after month. Call now to get your no-obligation credit consultation, including your free credit score and free summary credit report. Don't delay. Call 800-551-8320. That's 800-551-8320. 800-551-8320.
Winds News Time 3:38.
In 1010 Wins Entertainment's a new look for Tom Hanks, and he's not happy about it. He appeared virtually on the Graham Norton show this week to talk about his latest acting role.
I'm working on Baz Luhrmann's movie about Elvis Presley. Austin Butler is playing Elvis Presley.
He is playing Colonel Tom Parker, and when he revealed the look for the role, the audience gasped. It's basically a bald head. He joked that he just scares the children watching. Elvis is scheduled for release on November 5th of next year. Dr. Drew has the virus. Dr. Drew Pinsky made the announcement on Instagram.
COVID is no fun. I don't recommend it. But I'm sort of through the viral phase, which is when the virus is reproducing, and it took a lot of good medication to attack that early.
Back in April, he had apologized when he compared the virus to the regular flu. When's news time? 3:39.
2020 is finally winding down. Get a jumpstart on the new year by finally losing that COVID weight. NJ Diet's scientific approach will ensure that you lose fat quickly and safely. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva samples along with their bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that balances your hormones, where the side effect is weight loss. With NJ Diet, you will shed a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. Then NJ Diet utilizes DNA testing to determine your ideal diet, workout regimen, and specific needs for essential vitamins so you can keep it off. NJ Diet is all natural, no shots, no hormones, and no surgery. Full supervision is provided every step of the way, and you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. NJ Diet is available worldwide with live online video consultations, or you can go to one of their locations throughout the tri-state. Call them now, 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or go to njdiet.com to lose that weight for good. That's njdiet.com.
If you love us on the radio, like us on Facebook.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 43 degrees at 3:40. I'm Susan Richard, and here's what's happening. Mayor de Blasio announces a plan to vaccinate 1 million New Yorkers against COVID-19 in the first month of the new year. One of the Georgia senators in next week's runoff elections is now in quarantine after possible virus exposure. Folks are getting in their selfies as Times Square closes tonight to the general public. We'll get a live report. Hotel surveillance video now giving us another look at the cell phone incident at the Arlo. 1010 Wins Icy weather, clearing skies, 37 degrees at midnight.
This is Andrew Day Bloomberg. Inside 20 minutes to start trading in 2020. We see a quick verdict. The Dow is trading on a record up 120. NASDAQ down 9.
Wins News Time 3:45. Traffic and transit. Here's Gloria Chapa.
Looking in the Bronx, I have good news on the southbound Bronx River Parkway. That earlier accident on the southbound side of 233rd. Bronx and delays are back to Cinema. A little slow from 149th Street to after the Cross Bronx. If you're heading up on Multi-Air Drive, it's slow from the 30s to the 60s, and then from the 140s into the George on the ramp to the George Washington Bridge. There's a stalled car in the left lane. And northbound west side is slow from 125th Street to the George Washington Bridge. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. 5 to 10 inbound at the George Washington Bridge, 10 to 15 outbound with a stalled truck on the upper level under the apartments. Lincoln 5 to 10 in both directions. Holland is 5 to 10 in both directions as well. I'm Gloria Chapa. Our next report at 3:51 on 1010 Wins.
Mayor de Blasio's resolution for the start of 2021, vaccinate 1 million New Yorkers in the first.
Well, I think one of the sides in the college football playoffs might be the strong side. We're back at Warrior Calls right after this. Has finally decided to do something that's been a long time coming. That is, recognize the contributions of Negro League baseball players. We all know about the racial inequalities that persisted in America for decades, but sports was always seen as a bridge, a shared passion for struggle, gamemanship, and success on the diamond. Hundreds of black players from the 1920s to the late 1940s will now be recognized in the record books. Now, this will not be without controversy, because some of the records will be altered, like Ted Williams being the last major leaguer to hit for over 400 in 1941, since Josh Gibson did it in 1943 playing for the Homestead Grays. I'm sure this decision will not be without debate, but that's okay. Anything worthwhile should be vetted. But the most important thing that comes from this decision is that black athletes from the lost era of baseball will no longer be forgotten. I'm T.P. Barber.
Here's a message just for the attorneys out there. So you passed the bar, joined a firm, or even built your own. Now are you finding out that you're doing more administration than actual law practice? Lexicon can help. Lexicon is a legal services and technology provider with over a decade of experience streamlining administrative tasks like timekeeping, HR, billing, client intake, and more, so you can focus on maximizing billable increasing client satisfaction. Call 855-4-LEXICON or visit lexiconservices.com/go to learn more.
Before you drive the all-new Nissan Rogue, you gotta ask yourself, how rogue are you gonna go? We talking be one with nature in a desert rogue? Go snowshoeing in Alaska rogue? Or take the long way home just because kind of rogue? Just a question, but with 5 available drive modes, you're sure to find the answer. Go rogue in the all-new, fiercely reimagined 2021 Nissan Rogue, now with the most standard safety features in its class. See owner's manual for important safety information. Auto Pacific segmentation. 2021 Nissan Rogue versus latest in market competitors. Base miles compared.
Hey, are you tired of dealing with dummies when shopping for a new or used Toyota? Fed up with the games some dealerships play? Of course you are. Route 22 Toyota in Hillside, New Jersey invites you to experience the smart way to buy. Smart leases starting under $100 a month, and used cars starting under $9,995. They got a vehicle for everyone. So, if you're tired of dealing with dummies, text the word TIRED to 313131 and have Route 22 Toyota make your first 2 payments. Text TIRED to 313131 to experience the smart way to buy. From Route 22 Toyota.
Sportsbooks is helping new customers celebrate the holiday season with Instant Max. Sign up today and get your first deposit instantly doubled with up to $500 in free bets when you enter bonus code INSTANT-MOOSE. Then get ready to enjoy your favorite sports like never before with innovative parlay selection tools, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and so much more. Plug into pro and college football action with the same folks that light up Las Vegas with the most popular sportsbooks and casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. Download the BetMGM app today or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code INSTANT-MOOSE to get your first deposit matched with up to $500 in free bets. Happy holidays from BetMGM, where you're always just one click away from your victory dance all year long. Must be 21 years of age or older. Must be in New Jersey. Restrictions apply. Visit BetMGM.com for full list of terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tis the accurate season of performance. Deck the halls with thousands. Acura. Let's talk more drive. Don't miss the Acura season of performance event going on now. Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel. Language for life. Start the new year with a new language. Get up to 60% off now at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Frank's Red Hot Thick Sauce is still the perfect blend of flavor and heat, but in 4 flavors like Buffalo Ranch. It's thicker and saucier than ever. How's it? Frank's Red Hot Thick Sauce. I put that shit on everything.
Hi, this is Bob Papa. It's week 17 in the NFL, and the Giants still have a shot at postseason play. We'll bring you the Giants and Cowboys this Sunday at 1 p.m. with Giants game day at 11:30. The win combined with a Washington loss to the Eagles will put Big Blue into the playoffs, and we'll also bring you the Washington Philly game right after late game coverage of the Bears and Packers. What a Sunday of Giants and NFL football, exclusively on the Fan. Sports Radio 101.9 FM and Sports Radio 66, WFAN and WFAN FM, New York.
That is pretty wild. The Giants go 3 straight. Just 5 and 10 on the year. And there is a reasonable, realistic path from going to winning division title. Only in 2020. Thruway or the Palisades Parkway in Rockland County right now. Good riding Connecticut, too, as you're traveling through Greenwich, through Stamford, up into Norwalk, into Bridgeport. Not much to worry about on the Merritt Parkway between Greenwich and Trumbull as well. If you're in the Bronx, southbound side of the Deegan, right by the Cross Bronx Expressway, you've got a broken down truck. One lane is blocked there. Delays to the outbound George on Harlem River Drive. They're starting at the Coomsdam Bridge, and on that ramp, you've got a broken down vehicle. Northbound Henry Hudson starting at 125th. Westbound Cross Bronx starting at the Washington Parkway, none of the apartments to the upper level. You do have a broken down tractor trailer as well. Around Times Square, you can't go see in person the festivities. You can watch it on TV, but everything is still closed for those festivities around Times Square, 6th and 8th Avenues, between 42nd and 49th Street. Everything is still shut down. That's traffic update less than 10 minutes away on WCBS.
And now the forecast from meteorologist Bob Larson live in the Weather Center. Bob?
Clouds with a clearing sky, turning colder on this New Year's Eve. Overnight low 32 in the city, mid-20s in the Hudson Valley, about 37 in the city late at midnight. And chilly weather on New Year's Day, sunshine followed by clouds. Rain, a mixed rain and sleet developing late tomorrow afternoon. High 41 in the city, 30s in the north and west. Looking at rainy weather tomorrow night, low 39, late night temperatures rising. And it can still be some freezing rain and sleet north and west of the city for a while tomorrow evening before temperatures late at night reach above 32. Much milder weather Saturday. Clouds and anyone with the rain, even with a clearing Saturday side, 56. South 38, Waterbury 45, and Bridgeport 43. Mid-Town low at 32. Marla.
Weather sponsored by Exergen.
This season, the reason to become part of the Mercedes-Benz Bring family. Free for exceptional offers and low financing too on your entire line of certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz models during the winter event. Going on now. Visit Mercedes-Benz of Paramus, New Jersey on Route 17 South.
WCBS News Time 3:50. We're about to bid goodbye to a year like no other. WCBS reporter Peter Household tries to sum 2020 up with this essay.
The loss this year was unbearable. We lost human touch. We lost family traditions. Our kids lost school. We lost concerts and ball games. We lost jobs. We lost patience. Most importantly, we lost those we loved. We lost parents who nurtured us. We lost siblings who lifted us up. We lost friends who cared. And some of us lost hope. But there are things we found. We found walk-downs. We found Zoom reunions. We found new hobbies. We found heroes and healthcare workers and grocery clerks. We found deeper connections. We found comfort in small moments. And like it or not, we found resilience. We'll need it. Happy New Year.
WCBS News Time 3:51. Time now for the doctor's orders, sponsored locally by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
I'm Dr. Drew Warden, host of The Doctors, and these are the doctor's orders. Are you always bumping into things and getting bruises that last for weeks? Well, here are some tips to help prevent and shorten the bruising process. First off, try Arnica, which comes in both pellet and gel form. You can take Arnica pellets prior to surgery, as well as for a couple of days after to help with the bruising. Next, apply ice. If you can use ice after a procedure or immediately after you bump yourself, this can help keep the bruising at bay. For more information, log on to thedoctorstv.com. I'm Dr. Drew Warden, and those are the doctor's orders.
That fits your law and get their free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-811-4975. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-811-4975. 800-811-4975. That's 800-811-4975. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Ashley Home Store's winter blowout sale is our biggest ever, and the best time to buy is now. You'll find incredible price reductions. Save 65% off. All Ashley living rooms, bedrooms, and dining rooms. Furnish one room for your entire home. Save 65% off on all the Ashley styles you love. Plus no interest
With the holiday season upon us, the New Jersey Transit Police Department reminds you that we all need to work together to keep our transit system safe. Your attention is our most valuable asset. If you ride the train or bus, if you live or work near a station, be alert and aware of your surroundings. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Report suspicious activity to 1-888-TIPS-NJT or text your report to NJTPD. New Jersey Transit urges you to help us keep our transit system safe. Report suspicious activity to 1-888-TIPS-NJT or text your report to NJTPD. For all of our contest rules on WCBS 880, visit WCBS880.com and click on the Contest tab at the top of the page.
California surpasses New York and Texas in the number of officially recorded coronavirus deaths. More from CBS News in 5 minutes. Now at 3:55. Money news on WCBS from the First National Bank of Long Island Business Desk. The First National Bank of Long Island, member FDIC. Here's Tracy Jonke. Tracy, you are also sponsored by Sapavia Design Centers.
Marlo, it started as a quiet last day of the year for Wall Street. It's about to end with at least 2 new highs. The Dow is up 189 points. The S&P up 23. The NASDAQ is up 14 and short of a record by about 15 points. When the clock strikes midnight, the prices of hundreds of prescription drugs will go up. Reuters with data from 3 Axis advisors. Of course, drug makers including Pfizer and GlaxoSmithKline will be raising prices. With Money News at 25 and 55 on WCBS and Bloomberg's Tracy Jonke.
Say hello to 2021 in style with designer furniture from Sapavia. During Sapavia's once-a-year New Year's sale, save 50% off all special order, in-stock merchandise, and select designer brands like Vanguard, Ralph Lauren, Century, Bernhard, Caracol, Lee, Italian Imports, and others. Don't forget Sapavia's stunning handmade heirloom quality Persian and Oriental rugs, all at 50% off. Why be reminded of 2020 with your old furniture when Sapavia can help you start fresh in 2021. Beginning December 30th and ending January 3rd, you only have 5 days to save 50% on all special order in-stock merchandise and select designer brands before Sapavia's once-a-year New Year's sale becomes last year's most talked about event. Visit Sapavia's locations in the Tri-State and their brand new showrooms in Chelsea, New York City and South Norwalk, Connecticut. Hurry in to save 50% at Sapavia's once-a-year New Year's sales event, December 30th through January 3rd.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of my for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/reach to get started today.
Investing in Walgreens. Merrill Edge Pierce Finance with Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer number is IPC on 225. Investment products are not FDIC insured and have bank guarantee and manual value.
What's in store this week at Staples?
Everything you need to start the year right.
Whether you meet at the office or on a video chat,
Or whether your commute is now measured in feet rather than miles.
Staples has everything you need, like home office furniture, the latest tech, and organizational supplies at amazing prices.
And now at Staples, 2021 dated desk pads are just $3.99.
Shop in store or pick up curbside.
Get a fresh start this year with big savings from Staples. Ends 1/2/21 while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
CBS News Time 3:58. Let's get a check of traffic and weather together on the 8th with Jim Feldman in the traffic center.
And we're checking on the Hutch, which is bumper to bumper on the northbound side from Webster Avenue, New Rochelle, just past Weaver Street in Scarsdale. Serious accident, 1-lane block, rubbernecking on the southbound side back to at least Mamaroneck Avenue. Some trouble on the ramp from westbound 287 out of the southbound Interstate Thruway in Elmsford. The trouble, a broken down vehicle there, and you have 1 lane on that ramp blocked right now. No trouble on the Tappan Zee Bridge in either direction. If you're on Long Island, good ride on the northern state, a slow ride on the westbound southern state as you're getting past Eagle Avenue and approaching Hempstead Avenue. LIE, some eastbound delays as you're getting into the area of Glen Cove Road. Hudson River crossings, 10 to 15 to Jersey at the Holland. Pretty good ride to Jersey at the Lincoln, but you do have citybound delays of about 10 minutes. And the outbound George, well, under the apartments, there's a broken down tractor trailer. On the ramp from Harlem River Drive, you've got a broken down vehicle. Very slow at both. Here's the weather forecast.
Clearing and turning cold. Here is chilly. Tomorrow's high in the city, 41.
I'm Marla Diamond.
This is WCBS and WCBS FM HD2 New York.
In the month of January 2021, we will vaccinate 1 million New Yorkers.
The mayor plans to open 250 vaccine hubs to administer the vaccine. COVID-19 now has killed more than 1 in every 1,000 Americans. A gang of teens on bikes attack an SUV in the Flatiron District while the driver and his mother frantically call 911. Police arrest a 15-year-old. They're going after the others. And Connecticut Supreme Court and says Governor Ned Lamont has the right to restrict business during the pandemic on Wall Street. The Online Trading Academy closing report with the Dow up 197 points.
The headline.
Nasdaq up 23.
CBS News Radio 880.
The S&P is up 24. I'm Joe Avalon, 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago at the world's tallest building. Dubai holds its New Year celebration with music and fireworks. And New Year's festivities across the Atlantic will be muted or canceled. We have check-in with CBS's Vicki Barker in London. London's Big Ben is being brought out of mothballs to ring in the new year before being silenced again for ongoing repairs. The pandemic's forced the cancellation of most Brits' New Year's celebrations, but then the real celebrations here will only come when this pandemic is in everyone's rearview mirrors. WFOR TV reporter Ted Scouten on celebrations in South Florida.
With Miami's Big Orange New Year's Eve celebration canceled, and Fort Lauderdale holding the anchor drop virtually, many are planning to have a quiet New Year's Eve. We're getting sushi, and then we're going to Little Havana. Just keep to ourselves. But here's what has many worried. People partying in clubs, packed together, and not taking precautions.
A new variant of coronavirus first reported in the United Kingdom has shown up in patients in Colorado and California. CBS's Dr. John LaPook addresses concerns on the new variant and testing for
I think
it.
it's highly likely that it is much more widely spread. We just haven't been looking for it. Now that we're looking for it, we'll find it. The good news, and I confirm this with Tony, is that the vaccine is expected to work on it.
On the final day of 2020, President Trump posts a video to social media touting what he feels his administration has excelled at over the last year.
I froze student loan payments, stopped evictions, suspended payroll taxes. We have slashed the unemployment rate from 14.7% all the way down to 6.7%.
President Trump returns to the White House, cutting short his Florida vacation. Missouri Republican Josh Hawley plans to raise objections during Congress's certification process of the electoral votes. CBS's Weijia Zhang says the president's return could have something to do with that.
Even though you have one senator saying that he's going to object to the results, that could force a vote, but it certainly is unlikely to change the outcome of the election, because there would have to be a vote to reject the outcome, which we do not anticipate. And so he could be here trying to strategize some more.
Former Pennsylvania Governor Dick Thornburgh was appointed U.S. Attorney General by President Ronald Reagan.
Challenge that I accept.
Dick Thornburgh has died. He was 88. And on this last day of trading, the Dow, S&P, and Nasdaq end up. This is CBS News.
You can listen to CBS News Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on radio.com or the radio.com app. Download it today.
Live and local. This is WCBS News Radio 880, a radio.com station.
44 degrees. We've got a cloudy sky in town right now. Going to be cloudy the rest of the day. Possible drizzle in there as well. It's going to clear as the night goes on, so when the ball drops in your home, it'll be about 37 degrees here in town, about a clear sky. Overnight low in the city will be 32, 24 in the Hudson Valley. WCBS News Time, 4:03. The mayor has ambitious plans to vaccinate 1 million New Yorkers by the end of January. Steve Burns has more on the mayor's distribution plans.
The first few weeks were about getting everything off the ground, says Mayor de Blasio.
Now it is time to take off. Now it is time to race. And we're ready to do it.
As New York rings in 2021, the city will be setting up what the mayor calls vaccine hubs.
Our goal is to get to upwards of 250 locations citywide.
Expanding distribution locations to schools, public housing, moving sites into vaccination sites.
The most important New Year's resolution I could possibly offer you in the month of January 2021, we will vaccinate 1 million New Yorkers.
De Blasio says it's important that eligibility be expanded to meet the new infrastructure. City officials say more healthcare workers will be eligible starting next week.
That includes independent and community-based caregivers. Steve Burns, WCBS News Radio 18.
To date, COVID-19 has killed more than 337,000 Americans. That translates to 1 every 1,000 Americans. A window-smashing attack by a gang of bicyclists on an SUV in the Flatiron District at 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Police have arrested a 15-year-old boy involved in the attack. The driver of a BMW stopped at the intersection of 5th Avenue and East 21st Street to let a large group, about 50 bikers, and they're all teens, to ride past. The gang of kids then jumped on the hood of the car and broke the windshield of the SUV. Cell phone video showed a teen punching the rear driver's side window. Another threw a bike on the SUV's hood. The mayor says
it's absolutely unacceptable. And, you have these teenagers doing something that's just wrong, period. At least one has been arrested. The others will be. There will be consequences in this case. I don't want to ever see anything like this happen in New York City.
The driver had his mother with him. Terrified, he called 911 during the rampage. He was quoted as saying one of the teens ran into the back of his SUV at the intersection. When he opened the door to help, that's when the teens went wild. The teens broke the windshield. The glass flew into the driver and his mother's face. Police are using bystanders' videos to identify the culprits. 4:05 our time. A Long Island transport van driver asked 2 people to put on their face masks. It's a rule here in New York State. They responded by punching the 60-year-old driver and taking his money. This happened Wednesday afternoon near Valley Stream's Green Acres Mall. Police arrested 24-year-old Frederick Thomas and 19-year-old Taj Parker. They're charged with robbery. 40 essential workers will be honored by getting the chance to be in Times Square this New Year's Eve. They'll get to watch the ball drop and the TV shows in person. A committee heard the workers' stories of selfless risks during the pandemic, and they chose the lucky 40. This man's one of them.
I'm really happy to be here as one of the select few who get to kick 2020 out the door.
No one else will be allowed in Times Square for the ball drop. Because of the pandemic, the police will move you along. You can watch it on TV, you can listen to it on the radio. 4:07 is our time here at WCBS News Radio 880. Traffic and weather together.
Get the best sleep of your life. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off mattress orders.
The best way to feel the love is to share it. That's why Subaru created the Subaru Share the Love event. This year, we're continuing to share the love to help those in need with over 790 charities participating from our local communities. Just last year, Subaru and its retailers donated over $30 million. And by the end of our 13th year, we will have donated over $200 million to help those in need. And right now, when you get a new Subaru, Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of charity partners, the ASPCA, Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels, or the National Park Foundation. Because we're all in this together, and better happens. Together, we make everyone's journey easier. Stop by your Subaru retailer today. Subaru will donate $250 to purchaser or lessee selected national and hometown charities. The Subaru Share the Love event, now through January 4th. Help is on the way. See retailer or Subaru.com/share for details.
WCBS News Time 4:08. Time for traffic and weather together. It's sponsored by Subaru. Here's Jim Feldman.
And Joe, we've got some trouble in Brooklyn on the northbound side of the BQE by Atlantic Avenue. The trouble, vehicle broke down, sitting in the right lane. Blazer back out of the Gowanus by the Prospect Expressway. You got southbound delays coming out of Queens, getting down past the Brooklyn Bridge, which itself is bumper to bumper across, exiting a Cabin Plaza. Delays are also building Brooklyn bound on the Manhattan Bridge, but you're in the Battery Tunnel, and you get to Brooklyn also at the Williamsburg Bridge. Also in Brooklyn, you've got delays on the Belt eastbound between the Verrazano Bridge and Bay Parkway. Westbound, it's heavier between Flatbush Avenue and Bay Parkway. Into Queens, where the eastbound LIE delays, they start now at the BQE, go all the way out towards the Cross Island. Eastbound Grand Central is slow past LaGuardia, and then as you're getting into the Kew Gardens interchange, watch also for delays traveling on the Van Wyck on the southbound side as you're getting past Hillside Avenue and northbound from Rockaway Boulevard up towards the Kew Gardens interchange. Eastbound Cross Bronx delays now from the Alexander Hamilton Bridge to 3rd Avenue, westbound starting at around White Plains Road, and the other approaches to the outbound George. Northbound Deegan delays from the RFK, northbound Harlem River Drive delays from the